everybody. This is SWA Radio here again with Stephen Meadows, as always, hyping up what is going to be the biggest event in call history. Like we said, SWA is going to be a CPV format. It's going to be more real, more intense, more violent than you'll ever see before. You're not going to see no stupid, dramatical bullshit between everybody. You're going to see competition across the board, people wanting to fight for titles, people want to fight for respect. This is going to be the place where everything is going to come to head. And tonight, I've got a guest with me who really wants to prove a point. Somebody who you may all be familiar with, a former SWA women's champion herself, Kris Kennedy.
Hey Stephen, how's it going? It's been a while since I've been on SWA.
Oh my God, yeah, it's actually been quite some time, but I'm a little bit confused here because years ago we saw you as a competitor, and then you had retired from in-ring competition, and you have retired the SWA Women's Championship, but now it seems you have your eyes focused on not doing the damage yourself, but asking somebody else to do the damage for you. You said in your promo, this guy, Noah Dravinski. Who is this guy? What is he about?
Well, first off, I would just like to say for the record, I did not seek out Noah Dravinski. He decided he wanted to be in SWA and wanted representation to, he's not a man that deals with, what's the word I'm looking for, administrative stuff, logistical stuff. He is a fighter. That is what he does. He doesn't like to deal with the logistical bullshit, so he found somebody who can handle that, which is me. I mean, I have been in every call fed known to man, at least that ones that had a women's division. So I'm just representing his interests, first off. This has nothing to do with me.
Interesting. I know we're going to be talking more about Noah Dravinski because he is going to be a focal point in what you were just describing. You are trying to help within his interests, but I do want the fans who are not familiar with SWA to get to know you a little bit more, because there are plenty new fans out there that may not know who Kris Kennedy really is. And the one thing I want to admire about you yourself is that you, of all people, had to be the female who tried to fit in a male's universe, and you still do to this day valiantly. But let's go back a bit. Let's go back to your YTCW days, even. What made you want to be a cause superstar?
Well, I mean, a number of reasons. Just like everybody else, you get into call because you crave the competitiveness that call has to offer, and just like everybody else, I wanted to be the best when it came to my division and everything that I did, and I feel like I did that in every federation I was in. Two-time YTCW Women's Champion, two-time SWA Women's Champion, two-time YLLWA Women's Champion, three-time MWE Women's Champion. I've been champion everywhere that I've stepped into.
Definitely true, but there is one striking question. Again, one of Caw's major problems is the very rare influx of the female athlete. I just want to get your input before we go any further in your career. Why do you think you happen to be the only woman in all of Caw to stay in Caw and still have a presence, whereas some of the rest that we may get into in this interview weren't able to achieve?
That's not really a question I feel like I could answer. I mean, I can answer for myself, which is that I'm in call because obviously I am the best. I am the best women's wrestler in call. And as for all the others, I mean, they just can't seem to hold up. when it comes to being in call. Like, it's a difficult thing, especially when you're trying to carve a niche out in a world where mostly the men are focused. And, you know, a lot of ladies don't want to do promos, and you're not going to get out there if you're not going to do a promo. I mean, you can be a pretty face and do all sorts of flashy moves or whatever, but nobody's going to give a shit about you if you're not going to talk. Which we all know I'm, you know, pretty good at talking. I can fill the air.
Definitely. But the one thing that you'll always be noted for as well, when it came to your very early days in YTCW, was your very bitter rivalry with your former friend, who knows if you're friends today, D, the former GM of Burnout, or was it Rage? Either or, she was a very high-profile character within YTCW who not only were you enemies with, but you were at one point friends with. What?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to basically ask, what was your take on that whole entire ordeal, and how do you think that helped you as an athlete going forward?
Well, just like myself, Deidre wanted to be the best. Sorry, D wanted to be the best. That's how she prefers to be called. Just like a lot of people, we're on and off as friends, and when it came to a competitive nature, she wanted to be the best as well. And if I was in the way of that, she would do everything she could to make me not be in the way of that. And that's how we made each other better over the years. And we were better. We were good as competitors. We were good as being a tag team. We were good as being a group. Like, we did everything. She's one of the other ones that I fought with constantly in every coffin that I've ever been in. I've had either a partnership or a rivalry with D. And we still talk every once in a while, but it's been a while. She made me better. She made me better as a competitor. And I feel like you need that in order to get better. You can't just get better on your own. You have to have somebody to, sometimes be the person you step on to move up to the top.
Definitely. And obviously you've been around the area. You just said you were in SWA, you were in YLWA. Unfortunately, SWA does not have all of its history up on YouTube, but the one thing that we do know is that you yourself in SWA joined with the dreaded Revolution and became one of the top figures as far as the women in that group, and would eventually win the SWA Women's Championship there for a second time. Just gotta ask, what gave you the craving to want to be a part of just a dirty, disgusting faction like that?
Well, it's how history paints it. I mean, you guys call it dirty and disgusting. It aligned with my viewpoints exactly, because I felt like we were wronged in several ways, and the people in that group that were with me believed the same way, and we were just getting our grievances out there as a group. We felt like we were wronged, and we joined together to try and, correct that.
I see. And obviously you were almost successful in taking over the company, but unfortunately those events did not happen. But in the meantime, not only were you successful in that department, you've shared some success in another company called YLWA, which is a company that, if nobody's ever heard of, has got to be I guess you could say, the SpongeBob of all call. Just really out there, goofy, and just nutty. And you've even earned success there. What was your take on an environment that was just so wacky compared to the days of YTCW and SWA?
Well, not every aspect of your life has to be, grungy and serious all the time. And so it was always nice to cut loose and be a little goofy in YLLWA. It was a more, kind of lighthearted atmosphere. It lets you stretch and grow as a character.
And your most success, I would say, would be obviously in MWE, the one place that they give more women a chance and you see more of the women athletes. Would you say that Mutatron, president of MWE, would you say that that people should follow his formula when it comes to the women athletes, because it seems like he has more of a substantial women's division other than maybe YWF, which you have not gotten in contact with the owner with, but with MWE, should people follow his formula?
Well, MWE has its own thing. It does have a fairly large women's division. I was actually the head of the women's division for the longest time. I was actually the Satin general manager for the longest time, which is the female only show that they have on MWE. And it just has its own thing, and it had its own group of females that would do it. Would I say that I enjoyed having more competition? Of course, it makes you a better competitor. But it's hard to gather that many individuals. So I would say for any call fed that's looking to have a women's division, don't just have a women's division just to have a women's division and be different. If you're going to have a women's division, have it be substantial.
Interesting. But the one thing that I really want to get to know is the one that has been puzzling me for a couple years now, because I've known your career in SWA, in YTCW, in YLWA, and obviously in MWE. But the one that I can't figure out is your Call of Honor career. The reason why I can't figure that one out is because you were there for a short period of time. And one of the last memories I have of you, even though it wasn't your last moment, and it's probably one of the biggest moments that would lead into one of the biggest matches ever in COH, was right before M. Accuracy and Zane LaFontaine were about to finally go blow to blow after M. Accuracy had kidnapped Zane and tortured him. M. Accuracy's girlfriend, Saranoid, seemed to be a sparking of your interest, and you got into a fight with her, which would lead into some sort of a mixed tag match between Roxy Darkheart and Saranoid against UND. And I think that would have been the last time we ever saw of you. What happened? Where did you go?
Well, when it comes to COH, it is a great company. It is a great company to work with. But it suffered the same fate as a lot of women's divisions in other call leagues, which is the amount of, quality talent in COH, and there was a decision made, and I was consulted on it. I was asked what I thought about it, about getting rid of the women's division in COH, and, I put my 2 cents out there saying, look, I love to compete. I love to compete in COH. I would hate to leave, but if it's not going to be quality, if our women's division is not going to be a quality women's division, then there's no point in having it at all. We did get into some fights with Saranoid and Roxy Darkheart, but that was just kind of left up in the air due to the fact that, they decided to, discontinue the women's division in COH. If they ever brought it back, I would certainly be interested in going back, but my career. I'm interested in titles. I'm interested in proving that I am the best, and there was really no substantial championship for women in COH after the retirement of the COH women's title.
This is definitely true. One small off-topic question before we get right to Noah Dravinski once again. I just want to ask, what is your relationship with Michelle Saint, and where has she been?
I'd have to think about. Oh, that was she was the commentator chick.
She was commentator and backstage interviewer.
She's like the bisexual chick, right?
Canadian.
Yeah, sure. I mean, other than her interviewing maybe every once in a while, I mean, there is no relationship. It's just kind of like I knew of her. I
see. I do miss some of the interviews that she would give. She kind of gave a different vibe to COH. But I guess, like with you, there was just no opportunity there. But going back to Noah Dravinski here, we've gotten to know very little of him. We know via words, and we will get to know him at SWA 1, the first show of its kind. He will be facing another new individual by the name of Aaron Siegel. Aaron Siegel is a new competitor that wants to make his rankings. I just want to get from you, why do you think Aaron Siegel has no chance against Noah Dravinski?
Well, I mean, have you seen the guy recently, Steven?
I actually have not.
He is a undefeated MMA champion. Never been submitted, never been knocked out, never been TKO'd. How many people have that? Seriously. Do you know of any?
Other than Ronda Rousey, nobody.
Exactly. That's why he has no chance. This man, he needed to get in contact with somebody like me who knew all the logistics of the call world, because he doesn't want to deal with that stuff, because his only motivation is to destroy people and show everybody what he and I already know, which is that he is the biggest, baddest thing to walk into SWA ever.
Can we get a little bit of a background as far as, like, how he grew up, what made him go into MMA, what's his physical features? Because, again, we're not going to see this guy until SWA 1, seeing as you seem to be his representative and to be the spokesperson for him at his request. What do we need to know about Noah?
You know everything you need to know about Noah. He's not a very public figure. He's very private when it comes to his personal aspects. I mean, I don't even know a lot about him, to be quite honest. All I do is what he needs me to do, which is represent his interests in SWA. He trains a lot because this is what he is. He is a one-man army. He is a one-man wrecking machine, and that is his purpose.
Interesting. Now, another question I'd like to ask is, what was it about Noah, after requesting you to represent him at his request, what drew you to want to say, yes, I will represent you? Like, what moment or what fight or what match drew you to him?
Well, what drew me to him is, I mean, I retired from in-ring competition. There was just no competition for me, and I was just kind of floating through life trying to figure out what was next. And he approached me with this opportunity to represent him, and I felt that for me personally, it was a new aspect of my life that I could go into, where instead of being the one that gets beaten up in the ring all the time and fights and claws and scrapes, I can now be a part of making somebody else into a champion, or giving the opportunities to make somebody else into a champion. I mean, I feel like we can both agree. I know what the qualities are of a champion, and Noah Dravinski has all of them. He is going to be your next SWA heavyweight champion of the world, without a doubt.
That's a very bold statement because on the very first show, the SWA title is on the line, and it will be decided between Kevin Cross and Nate the Great.
Look, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who champion it is. That person is holding on to that belt, keeping it warm for Noah Dravinski.
Interesting. Well, we're pretty much done with the interview, but I would like to ask you one final question, and I will give you the floor. You can take as much time as you'd like, because throughout the interview, you've been pretty much hyping up Noah. We've gotten to know you, but obviously Noah is going to be the guy that everybody is going to be concerned with. I want you to take this time right now to warn the roster and explain to them what you said in your promo in more in depth, why they should worry about Noah Dravinski, and why you are not just predicting, but you're guaranteeing that Noah Dravinski is going to be the champion.
I do guarantee that he is going to be champion. It is an inevitability. It is not something that might happen. It is not even something that strongly might happen. It is going to happen. It is only a matter of time before he holds that belt. And quite frankly, once he does hold that belt, people might as well just give up on it because it's not going anywhere after that. Anybody who decides to get in the ring with Noah Dravinski, you know, you might as well. Let me give everyone out there a piece of advice. Hire yourself a lawyer. Make sure your will and all of your personal effects are in order, because you are either walking out of that ring dead or crippled. You are not going to continue on. It's not going to be a thing where you lose and then go on to maybe fight for a different title. If you piss this man off, he will end you. He will end your career. He will end any prospects that you ever had in SWA or any Fed, for that matter. And whoever the champion is going to be, I don't even care who it is. They will just be warming that belt up for Noah Dravinski, because the only reason he is not going to be champion the night of is due to his, having to, I guess, in a more formal setting, prove who he is. Because, newcomers usually don't get a championship match right off the bat. It's just a formality at this point. Noah Dravinski is your future SWA heavyweight champion of the world. And once he gets that title, nobody's going to be taking it from him.
Well, hopefully what you said is going to happen, because I would hate for you to be wrong. And from what I'm hearing, he seems like he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. At this time, I would like to thank you, Kris Kennedy, for joining me in this interview.
Thanks, Stephen, for having me come on. This was good. It's been a while.
Definitely, and I cannot wait to commentate that match with Noah Dravinski and Aaron Siegel. And for the rest of you out there, I hope you have a good one. SWA 1, be prepared, because that's where the real action is going to begin. Take care.